Alright, hi 7th grade. Let's go ahead and get started on our project for this week. So we're going to do a sport activity project. Basically what we're going to do, we're going to go to this website called Canva, and we're going to create a poster, flyer, whatever you might call it, about our sport and activity that we are assigned or chosen. Canva allows us to create invitations, logos, documents, resumes. There's so many different things you guys can create with Canva, and it gives you templates that you can use, which are great starting pieces. So let's go ahead and get started. So go ahead and click on the link. It will pull it up to the login page. Since you guys have never logged in before, make sure that you click login or sign up, and we're going to log in or sign up with Google since we're a Google school. Click on your name, and that's going to bring us into our account. So from here, this is kind of like our home page. This is the landing page. From here, it gives us all these different templates and sizes that we can do our assignments on. So we're going to go to create a design. So go ahead and click that, and we're going to use a poster. So once you guys click here, it'll bring us to our workspace. Over on the left-hand side, this gives us all of the different templates that you guys can use. One thing I want you to notice, some of them say free, and as you guys get farther into it, some of them are paid or premium version. So make sure that you guys are using just the free ones, otherwise it won't allow you to download. So be very cautious when you're choosing your templates. So here we are. Now let's go back to our directions and see what we are going to do. We are going to create a poster using this checklist. So the first thing is to make sure that as you submit it and as you're working on it, there are no spelling or grammar errors. You need to include the name of a sport or activity at St. Paul Public School and who sponsors it. The way that you guys can check who sponsors it is if you click this link to our Google Docs. It's actually a link to our St. Paul High School School Activities Handbook. So when you're in here and you're looking for yours, let's say you have robotics, and you scroll down, this gives us a list of the names of all the teachers and who sponsors it. So we're looking for robotics, and we see that Dustin Nilsson is the sponsor for that. So that's all you guys need pretty much there. So let's go back to our project page and see what else we need. One thing underneath the sponsor, we need what's the point of the activity. So why is football a sport? What do we try to teach kids when they're in football? Obviously, to play the game correctly, but we also try to teach them different life skills inside our sports and activities. So maybe list a few of those. The next one asks, what does the time commitment and schedule look like? When I'm talking about this, I mean if you are doing, robotics. Do you have tournaments every weekend? Do you only have 2 tournaments? When do you practice? Do you practice in the mornings, at nights? Give me the time commitments and the schedules. Also include 5 benefits for joining, so if you just want to list those maybe in bullet points or in blurbs around your poster. A minimum of 3 pictures, clip art, images, etc. The last one, visually appealing, make it look good. So change the background, add some color, make it look visually appealing. And then the last thing, it tells you guys how to download it and upload it. So just remember, all my assignments are due on Friday before midnight on Google Classroom. If you have any questions with it, go ahead and come chat with me. I'm going to take you guys back to Canva so we can kind of look and see. So I'm going to go to my background, and that one looks kind of cool. It's a free one, which is obviously a good start there. So now I'm going to add some text. So if you want to choose these down here, these are just font combinations like it says, so it gives you fonts that look good together. If you choose to use these, that's awesome. That's why they're there. Position them, change the size. One thing, if I want this top part moved, I'm going to have to ungroup it. So keep that in mind. That'll be one of the first things that you guys will have to do if you're using these. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. When we go to add photos or elements, clip art, whatever. So let's say I'm using volleyball. Obviously, I can just search the word volleyball and see how it has the $sign. You can buy that image for $1, or you can use a free one. So I'm going to go ahead and click on a free one to use, since those are the only ones that we can use. You can add these ones, but it'll have a watermark, and when you go to download it, it will not download correctly. So just go ahead and delete those if you accidentally add those on. If you want to add a photo, kind of the same thing, just search for a word that you're looking for. Some of them are paid, some of them are free, so click a free one. From here you guys can add some effects on it, which are kind of cool things that you guys can do. You can filter it, you can adjust it, maybe brighten it a little bit, dim it, and you can crop it. So if it's too big or if there's a part of it you didn't really want, you can go ahead and drag the arrows and hit enter and move it. So one thing that I do know people were having an issue with previously, whereas if I have a heading or something, let's say I have the word St. Paul volleyball is the best, and it's hard to read. Let's pretend it's hard to read. One trick that I kind of use is I insert a square as my background. So I'm going to search the word square. I'm going to click on it. Oh, not that one. We're going to click on this one. And this gives us a solid background that when we place our words on top of, it makes it a lot easier to read, a lot more bold. So keep that in mind when you guys are looking at your project. So this is meant to be fun. It's meant to be creative. You guys are supposed to just play with some of these tools, see what you guys like, come up with some good designs. I am going to actually print these out and put them in the mailboxes for the sponsors. So that way they can kind of see what you guys are doing. So kind of keep that in mind too. One thing when I'm assigning and when we're choosing our sports and activities, I'm only going to allow 2 people per class to do the same activity. I know that there are a lot of students that are in the musical right now, where if I had 10 different students doing musical, I would have way too many, and then some of my other sports and activities would be neglected, and I don't want that to happen. So for the sake of this, I'm only going to allow 2 students per class. The way that we're going to pick the students, I have a random name generator. When their name pops up, you tell me which one you want, and I put your name there, and then it's full, basically. So 2 people per activity per class. Keep that in mind. Yeah, so if you guys have any other questions, feel free to let me know. Canva is a really cool website. I really enjoy it. I create so many things for Facebook on there, for the library, for my personal life. I just really enjoy being able to manipulate the different fonts, sizes, colors, shapes, everything. So email me if you have any questions. Otherwise, have fun. Thank you.